find this series in an odd limbo in the wide spectrum of anime that I at least have watched. It's a show that I wouldn't rank in my absolute favourites list. However, it's far from anything bad, and actually if we're counting the second season, it's fantastic. But what about this standalone first season? Well, that is today's video. Railgun is the nickname coined to our main character Misaka, due to the fact that she is an Electromeister, meaning she can fuck things up when and where she wants. She attends Tokyo Dai, an elite school in Academy City, the world's leading city where students can learn Esper powers. She also has a group of spunky friends that she goes around with, all with varying levels of depth to their characters. Railgun's first season is simply one overlying plot with multiple miniature sidelines that allow us to explore the world. We do learn a little bit about the characters, although not much, as it's mainly their surface personality. Part of what makes Railgun for me is where it is set. Academy City is generally a nice place. The little aesthetical elements just make it a solid setting. One thing that may come as a surprise is this series is not as childlike as you might first think. Although don't be expecting any Urabuchi LSD trip darkness, it has hints of some dark undertones, especially with the fundamentals of Academy City's purpose, although that is explored more in the awesome sequel. Bearing that in mind, it is still a light-hearted show, for the most part, and has some general problems that some anime suffers from. Without going into depth of the plot, I can say that around 80% of anime fans could watch this and enjoy it to some level. It's got that Japanese vibe that a lot of people look for and like to see in the medium, but can also, like I said, steer at times. I'm not entirely sure what I'd label Railgun. The power of their friendship? Well, in fairness, only two of the characters are really much to talk about in terms of power, and that's the thing, I can't fully say with certainty what this show is fundamentally based upon. It could well be nothing. However, it scoops a very nice action-centered anime set in an impossible yet fun futuristic world, with a storyline that was honestly fairly well executed compared to most anime. Starting with our main protagonist, Misaka. She's actually pretty good. She does shine more in the second season, but that's not what this review is on. At her core, she's a multi-layered character. She's not exactly got human-like attributes, but somehow felt human at the same time. I feel the reason for this is you can't place her in a typical anime character category. I mean, sure, her character is slightly tsundere, but her persona has a couple of other things mixed in there to actually get her as a final character. She felt rather real because of that. However, I feel her fundamental beliefs and her identity is sort of shoved to the side as it focuses on all four characters as opposed to Railgun S, which puts her in the spotlight. Just so you know, I thought S was bloody fantastic. Shirai is kind of a fan service character. She wasn't really explored much as an individual, partly because she was always perving over Misaka. She doesn't go as far as spoiling the show. In fact, she can be funny at times, but she lacks the same depth as Misaka. That being said, she probably does have my favourite Esper power. I'm going to bundle these two characters together, Uiharu and Saturn. Who the fuck does that? I mean, come on. These two are by far not my favourite characters. Saturn felt like she was just there for us to feel sorry for her. Or rather, despite the fact that she cannot use any Esper power, she's not pointless. Fair enough, but at least give her a bit more of a persona than this. Uiharu is alright. She's not really my kind of character, but I can't find much from a reviewer's perspective that stood out either in a good or a bad way. Railgun was animated by JC Staff, who seem to have anime coming out of their arses, and to be honest, I'm not the biggest fan of them personally, because it almost feels like it's the standard, but Railgun was somehow different. I imagine it probably had something to do with how they animated Misaka as an Electromeister. I mean, that does look good. The city was vivid, and the colour palette was also nicely selected, though I couldn't see that fully because Funimation only did a DVD release. Some characters have better design than others in their looks. In particular, actually people Misaka goes against. Again, not spoiling too much. Railgun S is so much better on this front though. It really did feel like they were spending those fat stacks from all the anime that they produce. The soundtrack was pretty amazing. It gave songs a very electrical and live feel. It gave the action scenes the suspense, and is a core reason of why Railgun even has fantastic fight scenes. Yeah, some of it was light music with a fairly slow beat that was fairly repetitive. Of course there was some stuff I didn't like. What makes it even better, however, is the opening songs. They were just fantastic, and I'll often listen to them without even watching the show, which I can't actually say for a lot of anime. Finally, I watched this show dubbed, as I do with everything that I own in physical form, and Funimation did a pretty good job. A lot of people do complain about how you've probably heard the same voice about 1,000 times before, and that is still prevalent here. That said, they actually fitted their characters at a more constant level than most dubs. The final verdict is Railgun is a fun show to watch. It's not as good as the second season, however it is an enjoyable world to be in for 24 episodes. I recommend this to anybody that loves a good future-based setting and, being more generalized, anime fans. Go on, check it out, there is a high chance that you will enjoy it at least a little bit. On the flip side, I do not recommend this to people that have a zero-tolerance fan service policy, or get confused when characters have a slightly harder persona to figure out. Adding up the scores for story, characters, animation, sound, and for the first time ever personal enjoyment, Railgun receives a solid 7.5. Now, if you are looking for alternate series, the most obvious would be to go and check out the Mother series, Index, but if you want something completely new, then I would say give 1931 Raid a go. Not only does it have a central Esper theme, but it also has a great setting, almost in the reverse sense in time periods. That draws an end to this review. Remember, I am a reviewer, and as such, all of what I said is personal opinion only. And even though I may have seemed harsh, I really like Railgun. If you want to buy the US release, but you are in the UK, check out the description below from my friends over at United Publications, which really is a great place to buy all your imports. Thank you for watching, I've been Ross from the Anime Planet. Have a great night or day.